Right. Content update. It says new 3-month challenge league. I mean, they shouldn't commit to this too much. You went from wanting to play Blade Trap really badly to the league making you not wanting to play it at all. Why? They didn't change anything about Blade Trap. Why didn't you want to? Just because of the league mechanic, you mean? Or why? Oh, because you can't see shit when playing Blade Trap. Okay, so the league mechanic is what? Yeah, I mean, really, can't you though? I mean, maybe you have a flashy MTX, but like, my character wasn't really obscuring that much stuff. Like, I had the default one, I think. Or like, kind of like default one. Just like shinier blades and that's it. Didn't really, like, obscure things. Okay, the 3-month thing. I mean, it seems like every year we have 4-month league. 17 traps spinning around makes so hard to see anything? I don't know. I didn't get that impression when I was playing it. Okay, challenge leagues are great opportunities for a fresh start in a new economy. All of your old characters and items are still present in the standard and hardcore leagues. But you're encouraged to join the new league and complete challenges and demonstrate your mastery of Path of Exile. Invisible buff MTX we're doing. Yeah, because I had no. That's what I'm telling you. Just get rid of the MTX and problem solved. This is one of the cases where MTX is not better. The Forbidden Sanctum is a roguelike that takes place within Path of Exile. You will explore the Templar Sanctum, which is rumored to be hidden beneath the Fell Shrine ruins. Long abandoned, a malevolent presence has taken hold. In each area of Reclass you play through, you will have the opportunity to explore one room of the Sanctum as you search for its treasure. 100% reduced damage with no MTX. I mean, it does feel like that sometimes, doesn't it? For more information about expansion, check out blah blah blah. We already checked it out yesterday. With 3.20, there are standard hardcore solo self-found and ruthless variations of the Sanctum Challenge League available. They have the same core mechanics and items. You can create private league version of these leagues with mods that make the game harder. The new challenge leagues includes 40 set of new challenges with microtransaction rewards for completing challenges. Yeah. These rewards are only obtainable in this league and will be revealed in an upcoming news post. Can't wait! It's good stuff. New challenges, new MTXs. New content and features. Added a new optional game mode to the Path of Exile, Ruthless. This is an additional character creation flag alongside hardcore and solo self-found that allows you to opt in to extreme item scarcity and various other changes. Challenges will not be enabled in the Ruthless version of the Sanctum League. Okay. So this one you basically play if you don't care about challenges or you're done with challenges. Or just like Ruthless, I guess. Add a new Strength Intelligence gem, Frozen Legion. Okay, Jiyu, I'm glad you're here. Because, can you tell me, does this skill require accuracy? For you to have? Because all I'm saying is that it casts a spell that summons icy statues that use your weapon damage to deal damage. It needs accuracy. But what's the point of it being a spell? I still don't get it. What's the point of it being a spell? Like, what? You summon them by casting is the only reason it has... Yeah, but like, then they scale with attack stuff. Yeah, but like, how about... I mean, technically you cast the totems also. But melee totems don't have a spell tag. Like, why would they even put a spell tag on it? I just don't get it. That's so silly. Just don't put a spell tag on it. Or because if it was just an attack tag, you would have to hit somebody to spawn it, I suppose. Maybe that's why. Because totems are tagged with totems. Fine. Consumes multiple cooldown uses to summon icy statues in a ring. Each statue uses your frozen sweep attack once before vanishing. Requires an axe, mace, blah blah blah. This skill cannot be triggered, supported by spell echo, or unleash, or used by totems, traps, or mines. Frozen sweep is used by your statues to deal damage in an area around them while stepping forward. This skill cannot repeat and can only be used by statues from Frozen Legion. You need 2 sixlings to use that skill. Why? Why? Why do you need 2 sixlings? Oh, because you can't use it while it's on cooldown. Yeah, but you stuck cooldown recovery. You get one. You can just use one of them, right? When you pop like the thing before it gets all the cooldowns off, you spawn fewer. But if you have like shit ton of damage, it's 0.8 seconds per charge. Yeah, cooldown recovery. I could see there being like enchant for that. Or we don't know the quality. Okay, so 6 charges, you need 4.8 seconds. Yeah? To get 6 charges back up. Am I calculating that correctly? Oh, you don't want to clear with it, that's all you're saying? I mean, 2 sixlings is not that bad, but it's still annoying. Still annoying. Because the mana cost of this shit is gonna be super high. Because it's a spell. So spell mana cost scales super high. So you won't be unless you reduce it. Well, maybe attack, because it has attack tag. Maybe you can reduce the mana cost of it quite a lot. Hey, arbitrage. Arbitrage gaming. Hello, good morning. Okay. Added a new strength skill gem, Volcanic Fissure. Slam the ground, creating a winding fissure that deals area damage while traveling outwards. When it reaches the target location, it erupts, releasing a burst of molten projectiles required an axe, mace, scepter, staff, or unarmed. Mana cost is not crazy because it's an attack. Yeah, it's not scaling from cells, it's just to summon it, yeah. Well, I want this. I wonder if I should play this. Molten Slime, you're gonna play this next league? What's your plan? I thought about going it with what is it called? That unarmed gem thingy. That's what I was saying to you. That's what I was saying yesterday. It's volcanic. It's Molten Strike plus Tectonic Slam. Exactly. One with nothing. Yeah. Hollow Palm. Yes. Just go 200 and not unarmed. But Hollow Palm could be quite fun. I don't know. I haven't thought about, like, super thought about. I mean, I saw that Inquisitor got touched a little bit. Can play Hollow Palm with Queen of the Forest for speedrun maps. Considering leveling as 200 and then going unarmed. You're gonna bring Caustic? Yeah, Ball Caustic Arrow. I saw that. Gonna make Caustic Arrow back to life. Yeah, I haven't played a melee build in a really long time, so this could be kind of fun. But I just don't know how you scale melee skills. Just don't get it. Curse changes are the big thing. I saw people playing Caustic Arrow totems though. Just stack decks? Yeah. I suppose. If you're going that. Well, anyways, next. I added a new intelligence support gem, Cursed Ground. Support skills create Cursed Ground. Enemies on the Cursed Ground from a support skill are cursed with the hex. Kinda cool. I added a new intelligence support gem, Hex Bloom. Hexes from support skills are transferred to all enemies within a certain distance when hexed enemy dies. So this is like Hex Proliv. 8 new Wall skill gems, Wall Cleave, Wall Flicker Sight, Wall Blade Flurry, Wall Venom Gyre, Wall Molten Strike, Caustic Arrow, Volcanic Fissure. Oh! That's the new skill. Oh, we're totally playing this. We're playing that. And Wall Smite. I wonder what Wall Smite does. Oh, this could be fun. Introduce the Fracturing Orb, which can be used to fracture a random modifier on a rare item with at least 4 modifiers locking it in place. This can be used on influenced, synthesized, or fractured items. Cool. Like it. Introduce Fracturing Shards, which cannot be used in their shard form, but automatically transform into Fracturing Orb when they reach their maximum stack size. I mean, I will probably spec into Harvey's because of this. Much easier to make fractured items with fracture like these guys. I didn't find a single Oshabi thingy last league, and I was playing Harvest the whole time, so that's pretty sad. I added over 15 new unique items, including 1 designed by supporter and 3 designed by winners of boss skill events. I added 10 new divination cards, 5 of which was designed by your supporters, with 5 designed by winners of boss skill events. Cool. I added 2 new Atlas memories themed around domination and beastry. We already saw these are pretty puggies, which include 9 new beast crafting recipes. Cool. You found 6 Oshabi things. You mean like the blossoms? You found 6 blossoms. I was fucking running. What? That is so unfair. I found a bunch of those tier 4 beasts. But not a single one dropped me, and I ran all my memories from Harvest. Harvest memories, I ran them all, and you get a bunch of tier 4 beasts there, and not a single one dropped me anything. I was very disappointed. The Calandra's Touch unique ring has been added to the core drop pool. Ooh! That is the one that mirrors your other ring! Right? Wow, nice! Oh, that's kind of nice that it doesn't go, like, completely destroyed. 4 of them you found when you speedrun Mesa maps and saw Harvest. It's pretty good. Grand and exceptional Eldritch Ichors have received new art, so they're more distinguishable. Cool. Continue to incrementally improve the sound, art effects, and environments. Cool, cool, cool. Okay, Atlas changes. Maybe Witness map bosses now have a chance to drop Awakened Gem, inclusive of the Awakened Gems that are typically exclusive to Maven herself. So, Awakened Empower, Enlighten, Enhance. Wow. No? Wait, what do you mean? Just the normal, but... but it says inclusive of the Awakened Gems that are typically exclusive to Maven herself. So, what are Awakened Gems that are exclusive to Maven? Oh, Multistrike and GMP are exclusive. Oh, I didn't know that. Ah, okay. The following masks have been added back to the Atlas. I don't care. How following maps have been removed. Okay, what is removed? Arid Lake. That's fine, but who cares? Oh, it's nice, nice. Oh, Jungle Valley, no. Mud Gazer, no. Racecourse, no. Waterways are nice. Waste pool's actually also nice as a layout, so yeah. Toxic sewers we're getting back, so that's nice. All the other ones are pretty... Yeah, they're not... I mean, Iceberg is pretty good, I guess. No, they're not very good, actually. They're not very good. Map tiers and locations have been shuffled, though the pin location for maps has not changed. Most maps are now initially found at a different tier. Some of the map bosses you are required to defeat to upgrade your pantheons have changed as a result of these atlas changes. Crafting recipes that were previously unlocked in maps that have been removed from the atlas are now found with other maps currently on the atlas. Makes sense. Some divination hearts have found new homes as a result of the atlas changes. Bijouux? What? Bijouux? Is that how you say that? Grotto map. Okay, so these are new places where you can find divination cards. Oh, Toxic Sewers is better because there's no boss room nor waiting for boss to be attackable. Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, Toxic Sewers. I mean, for me, like, what is it called? Waste Pool, if you didn't bother with the boss, right? Waste Pool is pretty good. Just, it's like a big circle, right, in the end. Okay, the Vile Power Divination card has been re-enabled, now awards Doomfletch. I wonder what it did give before. Akil's Prophecy Divination card has been re-enabled and now awards a double corrupted, unique, elegant, round shield. This card can now be found in Temple of Adzoatl. Hey, Exi. Hola. The Transformation Divination card has been re-enabled, now awards Tainted Mythic Orb. Okay. A Note in the Wind Divination card has been renamed, now awards Aseneth's Mark. Not sure what that is. Mad King Divination card has been renamed and now awards an Ultimatum Aspect. This card can now be found in Caldera Colosseum, Dark Forest, and Reef map. Ultimatum Aspect, is that like to make an ultimatum map? Is that an aspect? Monster mods and Arch Nemesis. Problem, Arch Nemesis monster mods each added a number of stats and buffs to monsters, causing them to feel overwhelming and confusing, especially when multiple mods were present on the same monster. Solution: monster mods now only do one specific thing. Here's an example. The Magma Barrier Arch Nemesis mod did a whole lot of stuff. It started with blah blah blah. We have already seen. This is like from the Balance Manifesto. So basically they separated the mods. Okay, problem. Keyword thematic monster mod names gave an impression of the overall effect of the mod on the monster, but did not explain exactly what they granted, requiring players to memorize them. It's manifesto stuff, yeah. Well, you know what? So yesterday we already talked about this a little bit, but like, these new mods, hey Slimy Taco, how you doing? These new mods, even if they buff them, and I don't think they will buff them by a lot, because if you read through the mod list, what Arch Nemesis already gave was a lot. And it was just like a combination of a bunch of things, right? I think with these new mods, it has to become so much easier. Why? Because you could previously get a bunch of damage and a bunch of defenses on the monsters, right? Like the Arch Nemesis mods gave both. Like you get like physical as extra elemental and some elemental resistance the monsters were getting, right? Now it's gonna be just one or the other. And plus you can stack similar mods. So like 2 fire flavored mods won't be able to stack like the resistances or max res or so on and so forth that could stack previously. So I think this new system is gonna make, like, cause in the Q&A, Chris, I think Ziggy D asked him something, and Chris Wilson said, well, they are little bit easier, but in my mind, this has to be like so much easier. Why would they not be able to stack? Because like there's only gonna be one mod that's gonna do one thing. No, of course you can get a mod that fucks over your build, but it's not like you're gonna get like... So previously, like Incendiary and Magma Barrier, both of these gave monsters extra fire res. So that stacks on top of... Now, you can only get one mod that will give mobs fire res. You know what I mean? Not saying that you won't be able to find monsters that fuck over your builds. Of course you can. That's still gonna happen. But I'm just thinking like it has to become easier. No matter how you look, unless they buff them by a lot. Each individual mod has to be buffed by a lot. Isn't this what people wanted? Yeah. It is what people wanted. Easier Arch Nemesis? Well, no, Arch Nemesis had all kinds of... I mean, Arch Nemesis wasn't very clear. You had to memorize the mods, right? And similar things could, like, so fire flavored. Yeah, but they can get more than one fire mod, but that more than one fire mod is not gonna be two times fire resistance, for example, or 2 times max resistance, or 2 times resistant to your ignites. You only can get that once. But previously, you could get them several times. For each Arch Nemesis mod that was fire flavor. So now it will become easier. Not saying like you can of course you can get like fire res, Physis extra fire, and all those kind of things on a single monster. How can it, what do you mean it can happen? It's not gonna give a monster double mod the same mod. That's not gonna happen. You're just happy that essences won't do uber boss damage anymore. Well, I'm not sure. Like essences, essences only improve the survivability, right? Exactly. You can't get ignite times 2. Basically, one mod does one thing. So if you have a fire resistance on the monster, you can't get fire resistance on it again. It can be any other fire themed mod on it, but it's not gonna be fires. They are split apart so it can get fire res and max res. Yeah, but it can't get twice. It can still become a wall. Yeah, I agree with that, but it's not like you're gonna get max fire res twice, which could happen with previous system. Arch Nemesis wasn't even tanky, but it was the same thing as before, right? Arch Nemesis could have mods that could screw you over pretty hard, and some combinations were just like, it shouldn't exist. It shouldn't put these mods together. So fire flavored ones shouldn't go several fire flavored together. We call all conversion shit that made them scary. But that's what I'm saying. Like, in my opinion, personally, I think it's gonna be a lot easier than before. Unless they buff these individual mods by an insane amount, I think it's gonna be a lot easier. But that's just how I interpreted it. Not saying, of course, you can get some mods combinations that's gonna be shit for you, for your build, but I still think that it's gonna be easier, because let's say you get some kind of combination of like, max fire res and fire resistance, yeah? But then it doesn't get at least like all the other mods that were in baked into those other mods, like Fizz does extra that, and Fizz converted to that, and blah blah blah, and you know, all that stuff. More fire damage, increased fire damage, and all those other things. If it's easy, they will probably buff those numbers up. What I think, this is my tinfoil hat theory. Well, it's not very tinfoil. I think these guys are gonna be super overtuned. I think these individual mods are gonna be so... I'm saying overtuned, but I mean, I think they want them to be hard, and maybe they will make them harder than they actually want the end result to be, just so when people complain, they can say, okay, we lowered them because you guys said it, and then the difference is actually gonna be where they want it to be, but people will feel like, oh my god, this is so much easier, so... this is a good place for it to be. I'm not saying they're doing this with every league, but I feel like this has to be this way sometimes. Hey, Hobo. So I think they might be super tuned at the beginning, these mods, and they will lower them later. Still, it's better than... I mean, I don't really care. I didn't care that much about Arch Nemesis, honestly. Did you miss anything important? Well, we talked about the new skills. I might start with Volcanic Fissure. Nothing else. We're talking about Arch Nemesis now. There was nothing else that interesting right here. Valve Volcanic Fissure. So yeah. I didn't care that much about Arch Nemesis. Like, if they hadn't removed Arch Nemesis from the game, I wouldn't care that much. So I think this is a change better for the community as a whole, because so many people hated Arch Nemesis. So, okay. Percentage of Arch Nemesis mods that significantly changed gameplay was high, and combinations of modifiers that required careful play around those arose too frequently, making content too complex. Since each mod now only does a single thing, the monsters don't have more mods that they used to. The percentage of monsters with gameplay altering effects is now much lower. Interesting and challenging emergent behavior from overlapping mods can still happen, just less often. You're playing around in POB, Volcanic Fissure, with brutal charges. What do brutal charges do again? Okay, so this is about Arch Nemesis rewards that are hidden now. We read that in the manifesto. Okay, so a conclusion. The result is a system that is very similar to what monster mods used to be like, but with much more up-to-date content and balance. Mods are simpler and say exactly what they do, while you can certainly still rarely encounter scary combinations of mods that really wake you up. It's a lot rarer than it was under the Arch Nemesis system. We feel that the new system is more modern and interesting than the old mod's Nemesis system, and is clearer and easier to understand in the heat of combat than Arch Nemesis was. Always. Hey, how do you doing? Yeah, and it gives chance to deal triple damage. Yeah. Brutal charges increase the size of Mars Mag by 5% per charge up to 100%. I don't have any brutal charges, Riff. Right, deal triple damage. There you go. I mean, do you guys remember the old system? I mean, they had like also mods that didn't they have mods that say what they did? Like, it said accurate and like extra fire damage and stuff like that. No, wasn't it like that before? I think we've gone full circle here. Okay, Eldritch Shelters. Yep, it was too rewarding. They slightly nerfed them. Things changed. Drops changed. Good job. Map boss first. Good job. Eldritch Influence added a huge amount of extra monsters to maps. This is one of the main factors that make it harder for players to justify doing Maven Witness maps or non-map content, as the rewards struggle to compete. Yup. Exactly. Play Volcanic Fissure, grab any slam build, and you're done. Yes, that's what I'm gonna do. Slimy Taco, you just waiting for PoE 2 soon TM? Wait, are you not gonna play this league? Wait, when is the... You wonder what the slam totems? Well, Chris was hinting about like a totem cluster, right, on the skill tree? Since you didn't play last one and you're craving some PoE, nice. Good to have you back. Yes, Eldritch and Exarch influence is still stronger than Maven. Agreed. This is what my conclusion was after I read the manifesto as well. I just, even with adding this little tiny thing to a map boss, you're still coming way out on top with playing Eldritch influence ones. You get extra monsters, extra drops. You get the Eldritch currency, which is like super Gucci implicits, right? With Maven, like, first of all, they will be pretty rare, right? Well, there is one good thing is that your Guardian maps can drop Woke Gems. That's a good point. That's a good point. You can min-max it even more. Anything else? Yeah, I just don't see people farming Maven Witness map bosses. And I was thinking this also. Like, you know how there's 10 boss invite? And maybe those bosses also could have a chance to drop these Woke Gems. But like, you have to do 10 different ones. It's a massive pain in the ass. Like, how many different maps do you even, farm in endgame? I did like 3 different ones. Like, and going out of your way to find a map that you don't hate running over and over again to farm this thing is just too much. Just at this point, you just run one of those invites and play Maven for drops. There's just too much hassle. I personally can't see myself farming Maven Witnessed maps for Maven Witnesses, because you have to keep doing different maps to get new Maven Witnesses, because if you're gonna be running the same one, she's not gonna be there. So it's too much. I mean, it's kind of like a tiny little thing that they added, which is like, oh yeah, cool. But like, no. Even with the nerfs to altars and how many monsters you get from Eldritch Influence is so much better. You like running different maps every time? Well, then this is a good change for you. But I mean, even I personally, that I don't like running only one map. I run maybe like 3-4 different maps. But I definitely don't run 10 different maps. I have to go out of my way to run 10 different maps, and it's just too much hassle. At this point, I just run Maven and get them from Elder Shaper Guardians, right? Witness Elder Shaper, Elder Shaper, and Elder Slayers. Because does that count as map boss also? Or maybe they don't. Also, Exarch and Ether Implicits are way too strong. Also, but you know that this is actually a nerf also to the drop rate. Because you have less monsters, you will get less currencies. So this is kind of a nerf to that too. I mean, they were really rewarding, so I'm not super surprised that they nerfed these, but won't matter, you get enough. If you get lucky with rolling the implicits you want, you really don't, you only need one. So, yeah, okay. The Wrath of the Cosmos Keystone encouraged players to risk a level of danger that was outside their capabilities because of how valuable its rewards were. In some cases, it made more sense to die a few times in a map, yep. Have redesigned the keystone. So this is a pretty good redesign, I think. I think this is how it should work anyways. When you actually get the upside, then you get the downside. Because you're not guaranteed the upside every time. But previously, you were always getting a double downside with a chance to getting an additional upside. Now, only the places that have the upside will have the downside. So I'm pretty happy with that. That's good. Also, this nerf. You could get like 30 grand per map with the correct altars last league. Yeah, and this league, I don't think you will be getting nearly as many. Maybe 10. No, I jest, but I don't think you will get nearly as many. Okay, conclusion. Altar rewards are a bit more sensible now through clearer reward types and by toning down the extreme levels of giftiness. We work towards making it so the players don't feel compelled to rush straight to map bosses in order to maximize their rewards. Yep, still gonna happen. Like I mean, I don't know what they can put for boss to drop you so you wouldn't be incentivized to just farm the mobs. Maybe because you get unlucky and you get like that map with 20 packs only. But yeah, farming those mobs is still gonna net you way more drops. We also updated the Wrath of the Cosmos Keystone to be a bit less brutal and a bit less rewarding. Intent is not to gut these systems, just slightly reduce their overall potency. Yeah, it's good. It's good. No, I mean, can't be really mad about this change. Even if it counts as a nerf, I mean, it was ridiculous. It was so crazy. Okay, Atlas tree. Problem. Currently, the Atlas passive tree creates pressure to only run pinnacle boss content when you're specced into the Atlas passives that will maximize your rewards. Hoarding as much of a given type of content as you can before running it and speccing back out of it. Yep. Solution. We've removed Atlas passives that increase the amount of rewards from limited content such as Shaper, Elder, the Searing Exarch, the Eater of Worlds, and the Maven. The purpose of this is such that you should be able to engage with this content at any time. No Guardians, hey, that is sad. That is so sad. Way fewer Elders and Shapers will be running. We want to improve on the concept that the Atlas... So wait, we've removed the Atlas passives. So they did mention that one of the Atlas passives that gave you higher chance to get the Watcher's Eye is now straight up added in the content. But what about all the other things? What about all the other ones that gave you extra chance to get like a higher tier currency from these guys? And I don't know what you were... What were you getting from Maven anyways? We want to improve on the concept that the Atlas tree allows players to invest into leagues that they enjoy and have added new clusters to the passive tree for league content that can be blocked through Atlas passive skills. We've also increased the chance for such league content to appear. Existing clusters have also been tweaked with the goal of making them more of an attractive option. In addition, we've added a new keystone passive that causes scarabs using your map device to provide increased pack size rather than usual modifiers. Ooh. You spec into Maven to get woke gems on every kill, more or less. I don't remember. I was specking in all the nodes and I don't remember getting a bunch of... Well, no, actually, maybe I was getting but shit woke gems. The full Atlas passive tree will be revealed before the launch of 3.20. Kinda cool. Can't wait. And we did see like abyss nodes. They were in like so many. I mean, we saw from the trailer. Jewels and ailment mitigation. Jewels have modifiers that provide various forms of ailment avoidance or protection. Oh, this is Jewel Manifesto. Oh, what's that? Wait. Oops. Open it 3 times. Pay for play. Okay. 25% chance for orbs of the conflict found in Maven's Crucible or at the absence of Mercy and Empathy to be duplicated. Yeah, that's nice. Increased chance to drop awakened support gems or on completing the Maven's Crucible, defeating the Maven. Yeah. That was, this is nice. Hey, Doctor, how you doing? Oops. Okay, added 5 new suffix modifiers that could roll on regular jewels. Reduce bleed duration, ignite effect of chill, effect of shock, poison duration. Chance to avoid being ignited, chilled, frozen, shocked, poisoned, bleeding, and stunned. Jewel corruption modifiers can no longer roll. These have been replaced with the following jewel corruption modifiers. Oh, it's just... Instead of being avoidance, it's reduced duration or effect. You know what is the problem with the reduced duration and reduced effect? When avoidance, if you stack it to 100, that's it. You can't get affected by it. But when you do 100% reduced effect, it's just twice as ineffective against you. 100, right? Isn't that how it works? 100% reduced duration, it's half the duration on you. It's like, so many, that's too high diminishing returns when you want to stack it. The closer you get to like barely affecting you, the insaner it gets. So, it's the same thing. What's the same thing? I mean, if you have 100% chance to avoid ignite, you won't be ignited. You can't be ignited, right? But if you have 100% reduced effect, It just does half the damage. These jewels need to be elemental avoidances and are too low levels. Well, they have beast jewels that I think have avoidances, yeah. Avoidances on a beast jewels, they go up to 50%, but this is like a tier 1 mod. Shocked, avoid being poisoned, 50%. The habitual mode that provide a chance to avoid being frozen and chilled now only provides a chance to avoid being frozen. The corrupt habitual modifier that provide a chance to avoid being frozen and chilled now only provides chance to being frozen. Oh, 100% reduced effect is the same as avoid. But if the mob map has increased effect, it will mess you. Ah. Okay. Well, 100% reduced duration? It's no duration then. But if they have an increased duration, then it screws you over again. Ah, okay. So it's not so bad then. Okay, not so bad. I mean, there's plenty of things that they get increased effect of stuff, so. Okay, reduce effect of curse jewel suffix modifiers now have values 25 to 30. The 15% reduced effect of chill and shock jewel suffix modifier can no longer roll, so they want you to be immune to freeze but not to chill. The increased stun and block recovery jewel suffix modifiers have 35%. What do you get when you have 100% stun and block recovery? Do you not get affected by it? They want it to be the same effect as the Pantheon. Freeze immunity but not chill. Okay, yeah, the unique jewels. Okay, specifics. The availability of existing unique jewels has been reviewed, and many, including replica versions, can no longer be obtained. The following existing unique jewels are able to be found as item drops. Inspired Learning, Intuitive Leap, Lionel's Fall, Might of the Meek, Pure Talent, Unending Hunger, and Unnatural Instinct. Okay, the following unique jewels can only be obtained as corruption outcomes. Aziri's Reign, Brute Force Solution, Careful Planning, Shield of Corruption. Oh my god, do you hear that? One step ahead is only freeze, chill, immunity. I mean, it has a little bit of a debuff for them on the monsters, right? A little bit of a debuff, but... Okay. Efficient training, energized armor, energy from within, fertile mind, fevered mind, fluid motion, Fortis Covenant. Fragility, healthy mind, hidden potential, inertia, pacifism, powerlessness, quickening covenant, rain of splinters, reckless defense, seething fury, self-flagellation, soul's weaken, golden rule unto dust. Replica primordial might and replica reckless defense are the only replica jewels that are able to be obtained. Primordial might, harmony, and eminence are no longer in the core drop pool and are now found from another more deterministic source. Yeah. I take it because it's very easy, yeah. Gives you, I don't know, it just helps you a lot. And also the damage, at least on my build, I don't know, I've seen people struggle a lot with damage on that build. Some people have written to me, so I don't know. To me, you didn't need extra damage. I was doing fine. But I've recommended the other people to take the other node. To take polymath. Because if you struggle for damage that much, you can get upgraded Brine King Pantheon. The new version does not take one step ahead because it has purity of elements on instead. Also, that is a less I mean, you're also playing not solo self-on, but you're playing like the private league, right? So there's no guarantee you get those unique jewels. So it's good to plan for not needing those jewels. Freeze immunity is good. Action speed, it is good. It is. I personally was having a good time with the ascendancies that I had. But I saw a lot of people saying that they... I just don't know. Like, I had a good time with the damage. I had a good time with the build. And it seemed so easy to get it to that place. But if you wanted like a quick, easy, extra damage boost, you had to go for... You could easily take polymath and just get... like, I don't know how much damage it was giving you. Like 30%? No, 20% more? Unless you have 50 mil to that build. I don't know. I mean, I don't think it might be. I don't think it was necessarily that, but I just don't... I don't know. I don't know. I had a good time. But I for sure recommend for people who are, I don't know, who feel like they are lacking too much damage, to just take the polymath. Has a crap ton of damage, just not up front. Well, it takes it. You just want to beat Uber. Spell suppression is OP. It is OP. Ooh, I didn't even control F spell suppression. They didn't do anything with that, right? But yeah, it had... the Blade Trapper build has been the smoothest Uber killer that I've had in a really long time. So you can't complain. Can't complain. Okay. Added 6 new vendor recipes for Dead Reckoning, Endless Misery, Spirit Guard, and the 3 combat focus unique jewels. Happy hunting, combat focus. But how do you get this primordial might, and what is the deterministic source? Ancient orbs and the altar of sacrifice in the Temple of Atzwatl can no longer be used on unique jewels, flasks, or maps. Oh. I mean, Blade Trapper, if every trap gets to do its full rotation, yeah. I mean, that's the ideal case scenario, and that's not gonna happen to you. The fracturing orb will be good for locking tier 1 int or tier 1s. Yes. The only thing you have to consider is how rare it is gonna be. How rare are those shards are gonna be? Does happen a lot? If you're not a chicken and just stand and face tank? I mean, you can face tank a lot on that build, that's true. That's true. I mean, I face tanked a bunch of things on that build. Can't complain. But it all depends. It all depends on how rare those fracturing shards are gonna be. If the boss does not move, they get to hit. Yeah, but like something like Cyrus, for example. Cyrus is a fucking pain in the ass. He moves around so much. Maven also, not as much, but moves around a lot. The best boss, I think... Which one is the best boss? I mean, kind of Shaper. I guess is kind of very easy. Shaper, Uber, Adziri. Oh, Adziri is super easy. Oh, Adziri is piece of cake. Cyrus is easy. You can get him to stand still? What do you mean? How do you get him to stand still? He just teleports all the time for me. Okay, Bisher recipe that creates a unique jewel has been changed. It now creates a rare talis. Oh my! Why? Why? Why do they need talismans in this game? Don't need damage when you have like 13k ES. Well, you still want some damage, but with 13k ES on that build, you have plenty of damage. I just don't... Yeah. I'm gonna AFK or rage you. We've also rebalanced some unique jewels and compensated for the loss of specific jewels in the form of a new modifier or skill changes. New modifiers or skill changes, okay. Specifics: added Eternal Labyrinth Helm enchant for Spark and Ethereal Knives. Causes projectiles to fire in a circle. Cool. Frost Blades now has 110% effectiveness of added damage at level 1. Scaling up to 225 at level 20. No longer has increased projectile speed. Quality on Frost Blades no longer provides 20% increased damage. Okay. What does it provide now? Quality on Divergent Summon Skeletons now provides plus 1 seconds to cooldown and summon 0 to 4 skeleton warriors. Previously, minions attacks have 0 to 10% chance to maim enemies on hit. Okay. The Spirit Guard's unique jewel now has, with at least 40 dexterity in radius, animate weapon can animate up to 20 ranged weapons. Previously, up to 12 ranged weapons. Existing versions of this unique can be updated using a Divine Orb. Oh, is this a buff? Reddit no buffs, by the way. But this is a buff, right? It's pure numerical changes. So instead of 12 ranged weapons, you get 20 ranged weapons. Is animate weapon even good? That is the question. Also, is this a good change for Frostblade? How important is projectile speed? The pure talent unique jewel now provides melee skills have 25% increased area effect, previously 15%, when your passive skill tree connects to the Marauder starting location. Existing versions of this unique can be used with Divine Orb. Sanctum gives you a relic that buffs you. This is a buff, yeah. I mean, that is a buff, if you think about it. You get a completely new item slot that gives you pure benefits to your build. It's nice quality of life since you can't really invest in projectiles, but it's not better or worse than damage. Okay. Reddit can't figure out what a buff is unless you tell them this is a buff. I mean, isn't that how it usually works? Somebody tells people, okay, this is actually nerfs, or this is actually like so broken people are sleeping on it, and so on and so forth, and then Reddit goes crazy. It's like, oh my god, guys, why nobody tell me sooner? Isn't that how it works, usually? Added 2 new prefix modifiers that can roll on jewels. Increase mana reservation efficiency of skills, increase flask effect duration. Yeah, that's pretty cool. The fact that Tribal Fury got nerfed. Tribal Fury, that's wait, is that a keystone for Chieftain? I think roguelike will be very fun as long as the resolve mechanic isn't broken. You have 0 points in attack notes on your Infernal Blow build. Plus strike targets. Well, if you're trying to adapt it for that Magma Fisher, whatever the thing's called, you don't need strike targets to slam. Not a strike skill. Yeah, I think they're. You know what made it even better? That they didn't announce this in the trailer or in the Q&A, but you can save up to 8 uses. So a whole floor, you can save it up between maps. So you don't have to go in every map and then do it the thing and then go on map, do the thing. You can save up to 8 and then do the whole floor. And that was like when he explained how it works, and you have to have like 32? Yeah, 32 maps to like technically complete the sanctum, but I mean, obviously you might not be able to complete it. I was like, oh man, that's so tedious, freaking after every freaking map. Just let us save it. And then they put it on Twitter that you can save it, and I'm like, yes. They thought it ahead, because every time we have content like this, people are saying like, oh, why don't I can't save it for later? And especially in the later times with like with the lake of Kalandra, that you can make it into an item and so on and so forth. It's good. They're learning. Also because they changed how Temple of Azoatl you can itemize and so on and so forth. That's good. Okay. Summary. Our goal is that finding a unique jewel is an exciting experience. The unique jewels that drop naturally should be those that are very valuable with broad appeal to the average player, either to use in your own build or trade to someone else. We work towards this goal by removing uninteresting unique jewels, adding more chase unique jewels, and making jewels that do appeal to a smaller subset of players to other places so that they can be pursued by choice. Okay, so yeah, this is jewels, quest rewards, bad, remove from quest rewards. Now you just get a rare jewel instead. Okay. Curses. Okay, so this is pretty fresh in my mind. That's the last manifesto I read. And my tinfoil hat theory was that they are secretly buffing bosses and unique monsters, but I don't think that's the case. So this is just a pure buff for builds. Like, wait, this is reduce their effect. Wait, is reduce like the worst one, right? Oh no, less. Wait, reduce is like increase. I'm always confusing these things. This is not less is like more, so this is not as bad as less effectiveness. Game, why are you confusing me so much? Anyways, it's really good. And this is really good. It's pure buff. I mean, this only apply like marks. I don't think marks were affected, or were marks affected? This is part because hexes had hidden penalties. Okay, so this was only for hexes. I think marks still worked as intended. So this is good for... I mean, the spear got nerfed, actually. Slightly, but it's you probably still get out on top. But any kind of like elemental curse, any elemental hex, I mean, like flammability and all that good stuff. What other curses do we have? Other hexes. Temp chains and feeble? I mean, is this the comeback of defensive curse meta, guys? Is this the comeback? Because back in the day, I mean, I think this thing still existed, this penalty. Don't quote me on that. But back in the day, people were putting in feeble or temp chains on almost every build. Like you had... I mean, I remember running a trickster or a cultist. No. A cultist or trickster vortex build that had both of these things. Temp chains and enfeeble. So... cool. That's nice. So overall, I mean, this is kind of a buff, right? You think this is a buff, right? But then you consider that any automated way to apply curses, except cast one damage taken, is nerfed. So blasphemy is nerfed, it will have less effectiveness, I think, or reduce effectiveness. Hex Touch is nerfed. All the extra effectiveness of curses from curse on hit ring mods nerfed. Implicits with cursing also nerfed. Duadri's skin is unchanged. Well, let's check Duadri's skin. White. Oh my god. I think I look the same as... am I as white as the... No, I'm not as white as the white. Oh my... no, where's... POE wiki. Oh, there it was. Flashbang. Duadri's skin is changed. Of course. They nerfed Blasphemy. Blasphemy is nerfed. Grants level 20 summon Duadri's effigy skills. Socketed Hex curse skills are triggered by Duadri's effigy when summoned. Hexes from socketed skills can apply 5 additional curses. 20% less effect of curses from socketed hex skills. So Blasphemy is getting nerfed. So yeah, that's rip. Oops. Okay, the curse mastery that grants 20% chance for hexes you cast, which can gain doom to be applied with a maximum doom, and 30% increase mana reservation efficiency of curse aura skills have been replaced. The mana reservation efficiency master has been replaced as there is now a much larger amount of mana reservation efficiency for curse auras on the passive tree. The two new masters have been taken their place. The first provides you take 40% reduced extra damage from critical strikes by cursed enemies. That's pretty good. While the second provides recover 1% of life when you curse a non-cursed enemy, and recover 1% mana when you curse a non-cursed enemy. I mean, this... Okay, when it says when you curse an enemy, does that count when you have like an aura? No, that does count when you have an aura. Like if you had this on Blasphemy, it would still count. Maybe it wouldn't count if you had totems or something, right? Existing curse passive skills have been fully reworked. There are now 6 curse clusters on the passive tree. I wonder how much there was before. The Vampirism cluster has moved location on the passive tree to make space for a new curse cluster and to become more accessible to the witch starting location. The Whispers of Doom notable passive skill continues to give you can apply an additional curse. It now has a much larger selection of small passive skills leading to the notable, which provide 5% increased effect of your curses. Curse skills have increased cast speed, increased area effect, increased mana reservation efficiency, increased curse duration. Curses that applied via Duadris totems remain unchanged, but socketed gems are supported by Blasphemy. And well, if you... I guess I don't really know how this works. Do you have like a choice between summoning the effigy or using it as a Blasphemy? Oh, okay, you can use as aura or use the totem. Okay, well, yeah, totem stays the same, but if you were relying this to get the Blasphemy thingy, no, Blasphemy gets nerfed. But then again, if you think about it, right? Even if Blasphemy gets nerfed, we got those penalties removed. So for bossing or like rare, unique monsters, this still might be better than it was before. Even with the nerf. Right? Might be better than before. Okay, so this is effective curses. Maybe curse effectiveness is like a Gucci thing again. For like temp chains for bosses now, you could actually slow them down by a lot. The malicious intent notable passive skill now gains +2 to level of all curse skill gems. The cluster now has small passive skills granting increased curse duration effect of your curses. Cool. The Defiled Forest's notable passive skill gives refresh duration of Ignite, Chill, and Shock on non-cursed enemies you curse. And 100% chance to remove elemental elements when you cast a curse spell. With small passive skills in the cluster now providing curse skills have increased cast speed. I mean, this is a bit like meh. Well, this counts actually for marks as well, so I guess it's not so bad, but that's not. Also, this one is like whatever. Last Right's notable passive skills now gives cursed enemies you kill are destroyed. And skill provides enemies cursed by you have 50% reduced life regeneration rate. Okay. That's pretty good. Cursed enemies you kill are destroyed. That's pretty good. So basically, this is a... Wait, is this like from Cluster Jewels? Last Right? The Last Rights? Is this a Cluster Jewel? This is pretty good if you have a permanent way to like curse all monsters. Destroy corpses. Let's go. Oh yeah, the cluster. Okay, yeah, it is a cluster jewel. The cluster now has small passive skills granting recover 1 mana when you kill a cursed enemy. Or maybe this is not cluster jewel. This is not cluster jewel. This is just a cluster of nodes. Recover 2% of mana when you kill a cursed enemy or 2% life when you kill a cursed enemy. Good for sustain. This is not bad. Especially if you take, I think it's the mastery? Ah, no, that's when you curse a non-cursed enemy, never mind. The Skittering Rune's notable passive skill now gives 50% increased area effect of hex skills, 20% increased mana reservation efficiency of cursed aura skills, and 20% reduced mana cost of cursed skills. The cluster now has small passive skills granting increased area effect or mana reservation efficiency or mana cost of cursed skills. The Stepped in the Profane notable passive skill gives 50% reduced effect of curses on you and 10% increased effect of your curses, with small passive skills and cluster providing 5% increased effect of your curses. Oh, this is nice. Quality on the Divergent Impending Doom. Support no longer has 0 to minus 25% more damage with hits per 5 Doom. On Hex, instead, it has 0 to 40% reduced cooldown recovery rate. Wait, was there a cooldown? On Impending Doom? Quality on the Anomalous Punishment skill no longer has curse, has 0 to 40% increased Doom gain rate. Instead, it has 0 to 20% increased curse duration. Essence of Delirium now provides 6 to 7% chance to block spell damage for amulets. Previously, hexes you inflict had plus 10 Doom. Maximum Doom. The Legacy hexes you inflict have plus 5 to maximum Doom. Essence modifier on existing rings has been replaced with 5% increased effect of your curses. The hexes you inflict have plus 10. Maximum Doom has 10% increased effect of your curses. Replaced. So Doom is gone. Hex Blast has had its skill mechanic and damage adjusted to account for the loss of Doom scaling. Broadly speaking, it does less damage at the very top. Okay, so we read this. Okay, let's see specifics. Hex Blast no longer has any Doom-related stats. It now has a cast time of 1 second, previously 0.6. And the mana cost of 16 at level 1, previously 10, scaling up to 30, up from 20 mana cost. It now deals 111 to 166 chaos damage at level 1, slightly more, scaling up to just a tiny bit more. It now has 100% more damage with hits if enemy is hexed. Okay. 40% more damage with elements if the enemy is hexed. This spell cast time is added to its cooldown if triggered, and removes a hex after damaging. And it has 340% effectiveness of added damage. Okay, let's see what the Doom scaling was before. X blast. Okay, let's see. All damage can freeze, ignite, and shock. Wait, that's probably still stays the same. Chaos damage with hits is resisted by lowest resistance instead. 15% more damage with ailments per 5 doom on hex with most doom. 40% more damage with hits per 5 doom on hex with most doom. Okay, how much doom could you get before? 40% more damage for 5 doom. You could probably get like, this guy gives you straight up 100% more if you apply it with hex on the target. But this guy, you could, how much doom could you get? Like 30 doom? Wow, that's insane amount of damage. Same with the damage over time. Wow. You had to get like 30 doom? How much doom could you get? Where is the doom? How much doom can you get? Hey, Bad Phantom, I'm doing good. Oh, Bad Phantom, do you know how much doom you could get on a curse? Because then this is way worse than it was before. No wonder they were saying that. And for high, I'm going back. I'm just reading patch notes, Bad Phantom. I'll play Elden Ring after I finish reading patch notes. Just want to stay informed because I have to plan my league starter. Okay. Impending Doom has also had its base damage roughly doubled to compensate for this loss. We have replaced the Doomsday Keystone with a new Hex-themed Keystone and introduced the new Cursed Ground support, which was a reward from the Doomsday Keystone. Okay. Doom Blast from the Impending Doom support deals, okay, twice as much or more or less twice as much damage as before. Now has 370% effectiveness of added damage. Wow, almost twice as much before. The Doomsday Keystone passive skill has been replaced with a new Hex Master Keystone. This keystone provides your hexes have infinite duration and 20% less effect of your curses. 20% less effect of your curses, so that includes also marks. 30 to 40, holy sugar. So if the doom depends on how fast you were getting doom. Wow. So if it, like, let's say it had 30, that was 240% more damage with hits you were getting. Oh my jeebus. Okay, what was the other thing? Doomsday? No. Doom Blast. Oh. Too many skills found with where... What? Okay, impending doom support. They needed the shit out of hits because it was never meant to be a hit skill. Wait. Trigger Doom Blast when a hex from supported curse skills end. Oh, they nerfed the shit out of hits because it was never meant to be a hit skill. Oh, you mean for Hex Blast? Okay, 40% more damage with hits. So you had like, if you get 30, that was another like 240% more damage. But now you get the damage effectiveness is quite high. You get twice as much damage. Hmm. Wait, what are you talking about? No, it's not nerfed. They nerfed one skill. Or rather, they reworked Doom by removing it. And so they had to compensate, well, they had to compensate the skills that actually use the Doom mechanic. It's not a nerf patch. Come on, Bad Phantom. One little line, it got buffed to all heavens for poison. Did it though? Did it though get buffed for poison? Because the flat damage doesn't seem that... The damage effectiveness is barely changed. 40% more damage with ailments. Also, like, it's not as much as... Or are we talking about the other one? You can spam it. Oh, because you can spam it. Oh, that's a good point, of course. You don't need to wait for Doom. Well, then you can... But it's good for poison, but not good... I remember people using Hex Blast Ignite builds. And this is not good for Ignite. At all. So the Ignite version got nerfed. But that's true, you can spam the skill. You don't have to wait for Doom. We've buffed a bunch of Hex-related unique items and have reworked unique items that previously interacted with Doom, such as the Fate and Unique Ring. We've also added some powerful new unique items that interact with Hexes. Specific, okay, Heretic's Well kinda gets buffed, but considering that Blasphemy is nerfed, you can even see nerfs being written based on reason he isn't really... I mean, having one line where it says that they maybe slightly nerf something doesn't mean that it's nerfs. Overall, or like they adjust things. Like, this is definitely not a nerf patch. Have they nerfed some things? Yeah. But they nerfed like altars, like they nerfed big mechanics actually already, so... In terms of skills, most of them are untouched. Okay, Cosprey's Will unique body armor has increased evasion rating, improved, and always poisons on hit against cursed enemies. Previously 60% chance. It also now has 31 to 53 to chaos resistance. Wow. Flicker strike popping off, yeah. Wow, this is... Huh. Cosprey's Will. The Eelf Buns Trigger unique helm no longer has 20% chance to curse non-cursed enemies with a random hex on hit. Existing versions of the unique are unaffected. New version of this unique now has curse enemies which hit you with a random hex, ignoring curse limit. Ooh, cool. You haven't been keeping up with PoE stuff except for the first manifesto and saw some stuff in Discord about Arch Nemesis. You're really not motivated to play this game till they release the new campaign at this moment. I mean, that's fine. That's okay. You've played almost every league, if not every league. But they basically removed Arch Nemesis, so... The Felbog Fang... I don't think I've even seen this unique, or even this one. Unique Amulet, now causing enemies cursed by you to be hindered with 30% reduced movement speed if 25% of curse duration expired, previously 25% reduced. An enemy is cursed by you take 25% increased damage if 75% of curse duration is expired, previously 25% increased. Existing versions can be updated by Divine Orb. Is this good? If 25% of curse duration is expired. Previously 25% reduced. What does it even... Oh, 20... Oh, this is 25 reduced and this is 30. Aha, and this is 35% increased damage, previously 20. Okay, now I get it. It's not talking about the curse duration, it's talking about this damage. In most... Did you check the... Bad Phantom, did you check the trailer? It looks pretty cool. Roguelike. Minigame. In most cases, systems that facilitate somewhat automated gameplay like Hextouch applying hexes automatically should either come at a much higher cost or be less effective. In some cases, both are needed to counterbalance the significant upside of automation. Otherwise, the option to automate will always be the obvious choice and eclipse other more interactive gameplay styles. I mean, you call interactive... I'm talking like wrist destroyers. The Doom mechanic was aimed at fulfilling this function for hexes and is being replaced by alternative, simpler solutions. We have added penalties to both Blasphemy and Hextouch supports, which grant less curse effect at all gem levels. Additionally, item mods that inflict a specific hex no longer do so with increased effect. This includes items where the hex is meant to be a downside on the player, such as a Coward's Chain, Coward's Legacy, or Soul Mantle. You didn't know there was new stuff? You didn't know there was a freaking league reveal? How could you not know that? Come on, Bad Phantom. Okay, specifics. Hextouch support now has 35% less effect of supported curses. Ooh! Supported skills now has 50% reduced curse duration. At level 1, up to 31% reduced. Wow. But I mean, like, that doesn't really vary that much. But 35% less effect. That's nasty. And quality now provides supported skills have 10% up to 10% increased curse duration instead of increased effect. Oh my god, this is disgusting. Also, we wanted to slaughter aura bots, but are too scared to say that. Yeah, or curse bots. Curse bots. They did mention something like, yeah, the curse bots should be less effective now. Okay, so this is nasty. Awaken Hextouch also has 35% less effectiveness. Eek. So bad. Autobots next patch, yeah. They want to slaughter group play? I don't think they want to slaughter. They just want to rein it in a little bit. Like, this is not slaughtering. It's still gonna be a viable way to play, and I mean, who knows, like 35% less effect. I mean, how does that will compound with all the extra stuff you could take on the skill tree and maybe like other places like curse effectiveness, plus considering that the hidden penalty is gone for rares and uniques. I mean, as a curse bot, you might even come out on top. Like, I just don't know how they relate with this 35% less versus the reduced stuff. Bots are also not the funniest way to play group play, so they may want to make group play dinner. Group players are mappers, not bossers. Do the mapping changes hit harder? Well, yes, they are, but like it was such overkill. Like it was redunculous. Oh, funnier. Funner. I was like, make dinner? Like, I mean, to apologize? It's like, sorry guys, we hit you pretty hard there. Like, even with these changes, I think like those groups were like destroying, like what is nuking? They were literally nuking every monster. They wouldn't stop for anything. Like, didn't have to, like one-shotting everything because they were so insane. And this basically Again, I just don't know how that 66% reduce effect of curses on the mobs, like as a unique monster, right? Versus 35% less effect of curses work out between them, because, you know, it's very confusing for my brain. I don't know why. But like, you might still come out on top, actually, if you're using this automated way. I just don't know. I just don't know how the stupid reduced less brain. Okay. Blasphemy support has 25% less effect of supported curses. And has increased area effect instead of awakened blasphemy, also 25% less. 10% on 3 total. What's increased curse effect got deleted? What? No. Didn't they add the occultist curse effectiveness from that no malediction node onto the 3? Wait. Increase effective curse. We'll have to see this the skill tree changes. Where was I? Oh, here. Hexes applied by Bane has 25% less effect. Item modifiers that inflict specific hexes no longer does so with increased effect. This includes instances where the hex is downside on the player, blah blah blah. Curse and hit modifiers that appear on influence strings now only have a single tier, as both tiers are now identical. The level 80 version of the modifier is now the one that has been kept. Problem. Different hex types are not evenly balanced when applied via hex on hit modifiers. Some hexes like vulnerability and despair are much more powerful than others. This is because hex on hit modifiers apply hex equivalent to level 1 version of the hex skill gem. Some hexes are very strong at level 1, relating to their level 20 power, because they scale in a more gradual way with the gem level. This means that in some cases using hex on hit is too powerful alongside its benefits. We are stabilizing the gem scaling rates of hexes in general. They should be twice as powerful at gem level 20 than they are at gem level 1. Okay, punishment now causes cursed enemies to take 30% increased damage while on low life at level 1. Up to 58. Wait, why did you nerf it? Why did they nerf punishment? It no longer has 10% of overkill damage from killing blows on cursed enemies reflected to other enemies. What? Why did they nerf this? What did punishment ever do to you? Okay, quality of the divergent punishment skill no longer has 20% increased area effect. Instead, it now provides 10% of overkill. Oh. Okay, so that has been put into divergent quality. Elemental weakness. No causes cursed enemies minus 15? Wait! Why did they nerf curses? They have nerfed them! Because of course they're more effective now against bosses, but what? I thought they're gonna bring them all kind of up. Or if they were this strong at level 20, then you just downsize it to level 1. Quality on anomalous elemental weakness no longer grants increased effect of curse. Instead, it has increased curse duration. And normal one grants increased effect of curse. Oh, cool. Pretty good. Flammability nerfed. Also, how is this twice broken, guys? No. They nerfed them. Makes sense to you that they nerf all curse since they remove the historic and massive curse effect on debuff. Yeah. I mean, it makes sense, but like, I mean, okay, obviously they will be more powerful now against bosses in rares. Yeah, you don't need curses on trash, but what if I play a build that needs curses on trash, Lev? What if I play such a build? The following skills now have a base duration of 8 seconds at level 1, previously 9, and up to 11.8 seconds. Oh, slightly longer at level 20. Conductivity, despair, elemental weakness, and feeble, familiar, frostbite, punishment, and vulnerability. Temp Chains now has a base duration of 5, up to 8 seconds. Oh, nice. But I don't know how to do that. You don't play such builds, but further changes to some hexes are listed below. Okay. We feel that there are currently too many sources of curse effects available. This has created a large power gap between players that have no investment in curses and those that have heavy investment into curses. I mean, but isn't this like what is the like oxymoron? Is that how you say it? Isn't this like a little bit of an like, oh, so people who heavily invest in one thing are too good at that thing that they heavily invest in than the people who invest zero things in that thing. What? Shouldn't I get rewarded for heavily investing in one thing? So now you're... They can't say they want a new curse mod? That's like when they nerfed all support because it made some skills really strong. Or the carry players cry. Oxy is a... Yeah, like, I mean, they can't say, but this is a silly way to... Saying it's like... What? Players are burdened. I just think it's a silly way to write these kind of things. It's like, oh, so heavily investing a thing, you're getting too good of a stuff for heavily investing in that thing. You know what? And people who zero invest in this thing are like feeling like they not getting anything out of it. Curse effect can offer way too much utility would probably be better. Yeah. Exactly. They could have, basically what I'm saying, they could have worded this differently. Okay, solution. We are regulating the number of sources of curse effect throughout the game. This will also rein in the power of player builds curse support characters. Okay, here they are saying it plain and simple. These changes have been focused on less accessible sources of curse effects, such as Eldritch Implicits on Helms. How is it that's pretty accessible. Rather than accessible sources like the passive skill tree. I mean, this is pretty accessible. Like, people who previously didn't take stuff on the passive skill tree would still not take it, so... The curse effect notables on cluster jewels have been replaced with other appropriate ones. For example, the one that used to get flammability effect now allows your flammity hex to apply to hexproof enemies and also causes your ignites on cursed enemies to deal damage faster. I mean, kinda cool, but still. Specifics. The Eternal Labyrinth Helm enchant that grants increased effect of curse applied by Bane has 10% instead of 15% now. Helm enchant that provides increased effect to specific hex now has value of 10 instead of 15%, and 15% instead of 30%. Ugh. Eldritch implicit modifier on helms that provide increased effect to a specific hex now has values up to 16%, up to 19 in the presence of a unique monster, and up to 22 in presence of pinnacle boss. Sheesh! That's some nasty nerfs. Eldritch implicit modifiers on body armors that provide increased effect of your curses now has values up to 12%, 15, and 18. Jeez Louise. I mean, these are not too bad, though. That's only half was bad. Yeah, so these are not too bad. The Glorious Vanity Timeless Jewel Notable Transformation now grants 4 to 6% increased curse effectiveness. That's not too bad. Glorious Vanity Timeless Jewel Small Node Transformation now grants 2% curse effect. Meh, it's okay. Increased effect of your curses cannot roll on Abyss Jewels anymore. Small Cluster Jewel passives skills that grant increased effect of your curses now have value of 2% instead of 3. The increased effect of your curse Redeemer Influence modifier on shield now has value 8 to 12. I think it's fine. That's okay. Increase the effect of your curse veiled modifier on shields now has value 8 to 10 instead of 12, 14. Crafted versions of this modifier have been adjusted accordingly. The replica Duodri's Damning Unique Ring has 10 to 15 increased curse effect instead of 15 to 25. Can be made worse with the Divine Orb. Not only do you make a unique worse, but you're spending a Divine Orb to do it. Like my title, you'll need a 3. Well, you can do, I think you can do like a exclamation mark. Either YouTube or wait, why can't I do exclamation mark? Oh, exclamation mark, plate tab? Is it like that? BT? Nope. Nope. Okay, YouTube. YouTube will work. Yeah, it's in YouTube, but I also had a command, I thought. But I can't remember it. I can't remember the command. Okay, Jinx Juju unique amulet has no longer has 5 to 10% increased curse effect. Build? Oh, it was build. I thought I changed it for that silly build I played at the end of the league. Rip. Oh, I guess I didn't change it. I didn't change the command. Okay, the Delve exclusive body armor modifiers that grant 10 to 15% increased effect of your curses can no longer roll. Rip. So you could actually like fracture. You could have fractured this before. The following curse cluster jewel notables have been reworked. Lord of Drought now provides your flammability, can do hexproof enemies, 30% increase ignite damage against cursed enemies. Blizzard Caller, frostbite curse affects hexproof, increase freeze duration. Tempt the Storm, increase shock duration. Master of Maelstrom, elemental weakness hexproof, and that's +1 to maximum elemental resistance if you have killed a cursed enemy recently. Wow. Kinda cool. Misery Everlasting, Despair on hexproof, recover 2% energy shield. Exploit weakness, vulnerability, recover 2% life. Druidry's Gluttony, punishment, you have a Culling Strike against cursed enemies. I mean, this line would apply to any curse. Wow, free Culling Strike for the low price of 2 points plus the points you need to get Cluster Jewels. Duodri's Apathy. Temp Chains can be affected. Hexproof enemies you curse are unnerved. Okay, they take increased spell damage. Duodri's Spite. Enfeeble, increase critical strike chance against cursed enemies. Again, that's the same deal. This 35% increased critical strike chance against cursed enemies. Like, it's any curse. These are good. The following cluster jewel notables can no longer roll Forbidden Words, Master of Fear, and Wish for Death. Existing cluster jewels that provide inevitable doom now provide Evil Eye. We have removed the 50% increased effect of your curse and enemies. Your curse have malediction stats from malediction notable in the cultist ascendancy. The your hexes can affect hexproof enemies. Stat has been moved from profane bloom to the malediction notable. We'll be renaming this notable passive as it no longer costs you to apply malediction to an enemy's you curse. Due to the significant increase in the power of hexes against tougher monsters, the effects of this notable blah 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 good still. So that's the same things from the manifesto. Specifics. The cultist profane bloom notable ascendancy passive skill no longer provides your hexes can affect hexproof enemies. It now provides cursed enemies. You or your minion skill have 50% chance to explode, dealing quarter of their instead of 40%. Buffed? Wait. How is it called, that wand? Obliteration. Oh, it's 20% chance. Damn it! God damn. Enemies you kill have 20% a chance to explode. Oh well. Okay, here we go. Wait, the occultist malediction notable ascendancy passive skill has been renamed to unholy authority. It doesn't provide curse effect or malediction. It now gives you curse. Your hexes can affect hexproof enemies. I wonder if that's the only thing. I don't remember what else was on that. Okay, specifics for enfeebled temp chains. Okay, enfeeble now causes cursed enemies or magic enemies. No, cursed normal or magic enemies to deal 50% less damage at level 1, up to 29 at temp level 20. It also now causes cursed rare or unique enemies to deal 9% less damage at level 1, up to 18 at level 20. Okay. And even though it says here, at level 20, it gave you 15% reduced damage, but that was with, then you applied 66% less effectiveness. And all of a sudden, that's like 5%, yeah? Not less, reduced effectiveness. So yeah, this is gonna be better. Maybe Enfeeble is just gonna be the new thing. Quality of Anomalous Enfeeble no longer causes curses to have increased doom gain rate. Instead, it has increased area effect. Meh. 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 Qualities suck. Temp chains now cause cursed normal and magic enemies to have 15% less action speed, up to 29 less action speed at level 20. It also now causes cursed rare unique enemies to have 9% less action speed, up to 18% at level 20. The qualities are shite. 18 at level 20. Less action speed. I mean, I feel like Enfeeble's pretty puggies. 18% less damage just like that? Dang, son. Dang. Pretty good stuff. You have like a... Yeah. This is pretty good. Okay, while working on the updates outlined above, we took the opportunity to make some stat changes to vulnerability and despair to help make these gems cleaner. They are now more focused on making enemies vulnerable to physical and chaos damage in ways that are generally useful for any build dealing primarily physical or chaos damage. Okay, vulnerability no longer has elements inflicted on cursed enemies deal damage 20% faster. Now has cursed enemies take 15% increased physical damage at level 1 instead of 30, up to 30 instead of 39. Now has attacks against cursed enemies have 25% chance to inflict bleeding, previously 20%. Quality has increased duration of bleeding on cursed enemies instead of attack hits against the river inflict bleeding. I mean, it's pretty much in line with other nerfs, I guess. Except this is a proper nerf. Ailments inflicted on cursed enemies deal damage 20% faster. This is pretty puggies. Okay, Despair no longer causes cursed enemies to take 15 to 25% increased damage from damage over time effects, and it no longer... Mia! ¿Qué haces? Mia! Mia! I think she was eating some turron. Ven aquí! I have to go check. I think she might have been eating some sweets and she's not allowed. All right, we're back. Well, it wasn't sweet. You have to give her that. She was trying to get into the packet of like sprinkled cheese you put on top of like pasta. So she loves her cheese, but she's not allowed anyways. So she snatched it from the table. That's bad, girl. Okay. Yeah, increased damage from damage over time effects. Okay. Wait, cursed enemies have minus 15 to chaos resistance, up to minus 30. Quality no longer causes cursed enemies to take 10% increased damage from damage over time effects. It now provides increased effect of curses, so you still get curse effect on despair. Wow. Oh, wait. No longer causes cursed enemies to take increased damage from damage over time effects, and it no longer adds chaos damage to hits against cursed enemies. It now causes cursed enemies to have less resistance. Okay. Oh gosh. I'm not sure if this which way is better. I mean, less chaos resistance is good, I guess. It's better if your baseline chaos, worse if your face poison. Yeah. Conclusion. In general, hexes will be stronger against tough monsters and weaker against lesser monsters. We've removed Doom in order to simplify how hexes work, introduced penalties to automate the hex application methods to keep them from outscaling self-casting, and made several other balance changes as a consequence of those overall changes. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of... Okay, for mapping, this is nerfs. For bossing, buffs. So... I think this is buffs for me, basically, so I'm happy. Okay, endgame unique weapons. Simulacrums will be harder. Well, I suppose, yeah. Actually, yeah. Simulacrums will be harder, considering it's all normal monsters. That's a good point. Okay, endgame unique weapons. Many of Path of Exile's most iconic unique attack-based weapons have fallen out of use over the years. This is mainly because attack-based builds prioritize high base weapon damage over all else, and unique weapons are currently not able to compete with rare weapons in this regard. While a fundamental aspect of Path of Exile's itemization is unique items will be outclassed by rares, in the case of these iconic weapons, they get outclassed before they can be reasonably acquired. This is Raider Stonks. Solution. We've increased the power of some existing endgame uniques. Okay, Aziri's Disfavor no longer has +2 to level socket support gems. Existing versions are unaffected. It now has a bunch more flat physical and +10 to weapon range. New versions of this unique has +30 to quality of socket support gems. You got, yeah! Whoa! Oh my god, let's go! Yeah, I wanna... Does this drop only from Uber at Ziri? Oh, confirm this is Uber at Ziri. Wow, but this is super pogsters! How fast would this sucker be? Impale with this! Nah, can you play Impale with Cyclone? Wow, what quality is like super poggies? What gem has like super pog quality? Dang, this +10 to weapon range, that's sick! Okay, Beano's Kitchen Knife. Unique no longer has 30% increased damage over time. It now has adds a bunch of physical damage. Oh, okay. Just a bunch of physical damage. Extra. Almost twice as much. Bloodseeker Unique Claw has increased physical damage. Okay, so 50 and adds a little bit more. I don't even know what that does. Divinarius Unique Dagger now has increased spell damage, okay, by 80% on top range. Get up 200 life per enemy killed. And 100 mana per enemy killed. 250 increase critical strike chance if you've killed recently for spells. And crit strike multi for spells if you haven't killed recently. Wow, okay. With MOM, Strader Stunks. Essentia Sanguis, unique claw no longer has 180 increased physical damage or 50% reduced maximum recovery per energy shield leech. Existing versions of this unique are unaffected by these changes. It also now has adds 1 to 600 on the top range lightning damage. And existing versions... Wait, Essentia Sanguis. I have to start looking up these. Oh, wait. Somebody already updated this. Ha! Somebody updated this thing already. Energy shield leech effects from attacks are not... Wait, Ghost Reaver? Ghost Reaver? Oh, leech energy shield instead of life. Cannot recharge energy shield. I mean... Interesting. The Kingmaker unique axe now has 300 to 360 increased physical damage. Okay. The Kitava's Feast unique axe has socketed gems are supported by level 30 melee splash instead of level 25. Meh. Linei's Glare unique bow has a bunch more damage. Maroi Erki unique mace has a little bit more damage. Savior unique sword. Oh, Savior back on the menu, boys. 130 to 150 increased physical damage. Savior is back on the menu. Mario is not good on Raider. Poor Mario. Savior was up. I think I played once with Savior. It was a lot of fun. Wait, if you use Savior with Cyclone, does it Cyclone also? Does does the clone also Cyclone? It was specifically cheesy with things like steal skills. Let's go. Soul Taker unique axe. Wait. Kingmaker has also been improved. Kingmaker is the Soul Taker increased physical and adds some flat damage. Replica Soul Taker axe can no longer be obtained. Starforge unique sword has 400 to 450 increased physical damage. A bunch more. Varunastra unique sword 80 to 100 increased physical damage. Is this gonna make Varunastra relevant? Blade Storm, yes. These uniques are all... I don't think they're gonna be quite Mage Blood rarity though. Because even with... Like, this is kind of a marginal buff only. Like, why would this make Varunastra? Like, this is not the kind of buff that's gonna push it over edge and gonna be like, oh my god, I'm destroying everything with this. If only I equip this one item, I'll be destroying everything. Blade Storm, exactly. Blade Storm with Savior. fun. Void Forge unique sword. No longer has 30 to 60 increased physical damage. Existing versions are unaffected. It now has gained 700 of weapon physical damage as extra damage as random element. Previously 300. 700. Oh, wait. They just went really happy with the numbers, right? Your elemental damage can shock. Deal no non-elemental damage. Every metamorphosis is completely freaking overpowered. The new Pinnacle Atlas passes, but now I'm just thinking, like, I mean, how rare are these things are gonna be, right? Right? Ashes rare. Yeah, I mean, ashes are pretty puggies. Okay, Voltaxic Rift unique bow no longer has 10% chance to shock. Existing versions are unaffected. It now has adds 1 to 600 to 750 lightning damage. So twice as much, or almost more than twice as much. And 100% of lightning damage converted to chaos damage again! We're full circle! Existing versions of this unique can be updated to the new values using Divine Orb. Okay, Sparky boys! Sparky boys! Can you get... Wait, does Battle Mage work with bows? A 100% convert, yeah. Wait, does Battle Mage work with bows? That's why you play Flicker, so you can clear the game with a fucking white wind. Spark has like pretty freaking poggies added damage effectiveness, I think. Do you go Poison Spark with this though? Wait, let's check it. Let's check Voltaxic Rift here. What does it was before? What did it have before? Voltaxic Rift. Hits with this weapon shock enemies as though dealing 300% more damage. You scale hit on chaos, which is OP. Ah, I want to play this now! Just start as a Sparker and then just go GG. By the time you get Voltaxic Rift. Gonna be expensive? I know. I'm not gonna start with this, obviously. You know what would be the smart thing? Smart thing would be starting with Blade Trap. That would be the smart thing. Am I smart? No. You know what it would be smart thing? Boring. Yeah, but you know what would happen if I started with a Blade Trapper? I already know the scaling for Blade Trap. I know what I need to get it to be good enough for Uber bosses. And I would actually be able to kill Uber bosses maybe earlier than every other league. Smartest thing is admitting you're not smart, yeah. Wow, this is poggies! I want to play this. Spark, Voltaxic Rift. Blade Trap again is for if everything else is failing. Well, I'm gonna play that new melee skill. instead. I know I'm gonna play the new skill. I'm just joking about, but like I really want to play with this. Like really, really a lot. So you basically go Inquisitor, you take that Chieftain? Yeah, I think Chieftain. The ghetto mode? Well, it's not ghetto. It's like the love child of Molten Strike and whatever that other thing is. Tectonic Slam. Love child of Molten Strike and Tectonic Slam. And popped out this little beauty. Nagamahuhus? I mean, you could do Nagamahuhus, I guess. Balls everywhere. That cooldown skill is what has you sold on PoE 2? Many Marauders? Yeah, but like, how do you make it work? I was thinking, we were talking about it today. Like, you need to lower the cooldown by quite a lot, I think. Well, Nagamahuhu we could play. Yeah, you could play Nagamahuhu. They did buff it a few leagues ago, I think. And you only need you need the 6-link and then you just need to 6-socket the axe, right? And you can even double corrupt the axe for even a 7-link. Pseudo 7-link. Or no, wait, maybe it doesn't work with 7 links. You could double corrupt the axe for stuff. It's kind of there for now. Yeah. Wait, let's check Nagamahuhus. Chance to trigger level 16 Molten Burst on melee hit. Increase physical damage attack speed. Physical damage converted to fire damage. So with this you get easy conversion already, right? Because that skill is only 60% converted from fizz to fire. And Nagamuhu bolted now fires 3 additional projectiles. No, now has... they nerfed this stuff. Oh, Molten Burst skill now deals 15% more damage in 3.9. Using this, it's just for the balls. Okay. It's just for all the balls, GU. Balls! No, you wouldn't use it for conversion. It's just for the balls. This weapon was alive 5 years ago. It's kind of hard to scale. It's for fun. Yeah, I mean... Yeah, it's for fun, basically. This is not like... Yeah. This is definitely not... You wouldn't take this if you really wanted to scale some nice stuff on endgame, right? Okay, let's continue. Mitigating monster life regeneration problem. Monster life regeneration is rarely a significant issue for players, but in cases where it does present an obstacle, there are few solutions available to deal with. Solution to some new sources of mitigating monster life regen that are able to be accessed easily. 60% increased life recovery from flasks used when on low life is now found on the base soul of Rislata Pantheon. Previously found on the upgraded version. Oh, nice. The upgraded soul of Rislata now provides enemies you've hit recently have 50% reduced life regeneration rate. Oh, nice. Wanna heal? It wouldn't heal them. You'd really have to make a project out of it. It's not league starter material, basically. This could be like some meme build material. The 50% increased life recovery from flasks when used on low life. Life muscle has been replaced with nearby enemies have reduced. Okay, yeah, fine. Strike skills and additional enemies. Most strike melee skills are currently reliant on ways to strike extra targets and or deal splash damage in order to compete with other builds when clearing groups of enemies. Solution: add melee splash access to the passive skill tree and move the single additional strike there to the attack mastery instead of a specific node. The Tribal Fury notable passive skill no longer has strike skills target one addition nearby enemy. It now has melee strike skills deal splash damage to surrounding targets. Okay, cool. So this splash damage benefits everything, right? But strikes thingies only benefit strikes. The two small passive skills in Tribal Fury cluster, which provide 10% increased melee damage and 50% increased melee splash air effect, have been removed. New attack mastery, blah blah blah, which replaces strike skills target additionally can do so from 30% further away. No, that's pretty good though. Aw. Pious path. Problem. The recovery. Oh yeah, this is the consecrated ground thingy. Nerf. Was still pretty strong. This was like really strong, but it's a nerf. Spectral Helix and Lightning Conduit. Problem. Both Spectral Helix and Lightning Conduit are currently too strong at all stages of the game relative to other similar skills. I mean, who couldn't see this coming? Solution. We've lowered the damage of these two skills to bring them more in line with others. Okay. Spectral Helix has now 100% effectiveness of added damage at level 1 instead of 160, up to 150 at level 20 instead of 250. Oof. Lightning Conduit now deals 33 to 98 lightning damage at level 1, up to 387 to 1161 at level 20. What's that nerf? 25%? It now has 100% effectiveness to add the damage. Ooh, double whammy! Double whammy! Less flat and less added damage effectiveness. I mean, Lightning Conduit apparently was super freaking strong. Okay, Lightning Strike. Lightning Strike is currently overperforming in comparison to other skills. It is very good at both clearing and dealing single target damage. Solution. We've changed the number of additional projectiles fired by Lightning Strike. It now requires more investment in additional projectiles for improved clear speed. Lightning Strike now fires 2 additional projectiles at all gem levels. It's previously 4 at gem level 1 up to 7. Oh, wowzers! Now fires 2 additional at all gem levels. Holy shit, so now it will be firing 3. Here it was firing 5 up to 8. Quality on Lightning Strike no longer provides increased damage. Quality on Wall Lightning Strike no longer provides increased damage. Quality Divergent Lightning Strike no longer provides fire 0 to 2 additional projectiles. Increased chance. Wait, shock to enemies. Labyrinth Helm enchant causes Lightning Strike to fire additional projectile now has values of 1 and 2. Never knew there was so much text in Elden Ring, I know, right? Wow, how do you make... I mean, it was really, really good though, right? And they don't nerf the damage. Like, could you hit with multiple projectiles? Could you hit the same target with multiple projectiles? Was there like shotgunning kind of thing? Nope, so... And NPCs take forever to talk. So this is basically a nerf to clear speed. Oh, you hit with 1 proj and 1 strike from Ancestral Call. Yeah, so this is basically a nerf to clear speed. Oh, extra strike, not Ancestral Call. Oh gosh, my nose is due. Okay. I still think Lightning Strike was one of your favorite builds. God knows what it's going to be like now. Well, if you have a nice character after the update, you can go test it out. With the way it was. Divergent Second Wind. Problem. The life regeneration on skill use provided by Divergent Second Wind support has irreconcilable bugs with a few other stats that interact with life regeneration. We've replaced the stat on Divergent Second Wind with generic life recovery instead of life regeneration. Specifics. Quality on the Divergent Second Wind support no longer grants regenerate 0 to 1% life over 1 second when you use supported skills. Instead, it now grants recover 0 to 1% of life when you use supported skills. Okay. Okay, I didn't really even realize that the Varian second wind was like that. Cool. Onslaught. Problem. Historically, Onslaught itself has never been a buff and cannot be scaled by modifiers to buff effect, as its only effect is you have Onslaught, which isn't very sensible. Solution. Onslaught is now a buff, and modifiers to buff effect now apply to Onslaught. This includes flask effect modifiers when Onslaught is provided through flasks. As such, flask effect modifiers are now able to roll on silver flasks. Nice speed, boy! Hey Narita, how you doing? You were really hoping they were gonna get rid of melee accuracy? I mean, they could have get rid of accuracy altogether, honestly. Just a fluffer stat. Withering Step and Elusive. Withering Step could be used to keep up a far stronger elusive effect on average, especially in combination with the Nightblade support. Normally, you have to wait for elusive to gradually lose effectiveness and fall off before you can gain elusive again. But with Withering Step, you could replace the existing elusive buff with the Withering Steps and then use any skill to lose elusive again. Solution. Withering Step can no longer be used while already elusive. This change shouldn't affect builds that don't have ways to gain elusive outside of Withering Step. This change shouldn't affect builds that don't have ways to gain elusive outside. Okay. Ancestor Totem. Added a new totem mastery that provides Ancestor Totem buff effect linger for 3 seconds, which replaced the 50% increased totem placement range mastery. So the attack speed buff, the more damage buff lasts for 3 seconds. I mean, I think Jester hasn't watched me play Elden Ring, Ryu. Well, no. Still accuracy for monsters. Only for thee, not for me. You know? That's how it goes, Arbitrage. Tainted Orbs of Fusing. Problem. When reintroducing tainted orbs, currency items, the chance for different outcomes were rebalanced to be appropriate for the core game. The new odds for Tainted Orbs of Fusing made it hard to justify using one on your gear, as it could become an expensive venture. We've changed the outcome odds for Tainted Orbs of Fusing to be more favorable to match where they were in Scourge League. Why a spell can't miss? Because, has in built homing? I guess. That's why spells are better. I mean, I've always said it. That's why spells are better than attacks. Because they can't miss. Fracturing Orb. Okay, due to changes to Exalt and Divine Orbs, Harbinger felt relatively unrewarding to farm, as Exalted Shards present a significant portion of the value from their rewards. We've introduced Fracturing Orbs and Fracturing Shards, so have removed the Harvest Craft that fractures a random modifier on an item. Farming Harbies again. Next league. Cyrus's Arena. Problem. It's hard to tell where the edge of Cyrus's Arena is when environmental decorations are visually deatomized. So we've changed these visuals so you can still tell where the edge of the arena is after a deatomization storm has passed over the decorations. I wish they would show a visual. Corrosive Hunger. Wading through ooze in the Infinite Hunger fight sub-area can be overly punishing if not using a movement skill. Reduce the rate at which players gain stacks of Corrosive Hunger in the Infinite Hunger boss fight. Honestly, this boss fight is such a joke. It's so stupid. Like you have to take damage to trigger him to come back, because he's like little tentacle boy, right? Bestiary Party Play. Bestiary's Party Play currently awards a beast to every player when capturing beasts, causing party play to be the best way to capture specific rare beasts many times over. Additional captures of a beast when playing in a party are now rolled on a a per player basis, with the chance being tied to the quantity bonus granted for playing in a party. The owner of the instance is still guaranteed to receive the captured beast. Fair enough. Kirax complete the map mission. Problem: Kirax complete the map mission is a bit too generous in the unique maps offered, with some of the more rare unique maps being offered more frequently than they should. Kirax's giftiness for the maps offered for his missions has been reduced. The chances for him to offer more rare unique map are now more reasonable. Aw, come on. This was one of the good things about Kirax. Identified memory lines. Problem: it was possible to use the Path of Exile trade website to determine the modifiers on unidentified Atlas memories. Oh, Atlas memories now drop identified. Okay. Rogue markers. Upon leaving town in Act 6 and killing your first set of monsters, you'd very quickly obtain rogue markers and be told to go back to town and talk to Kurai. This disrupted the flow of the main questline, and you were then directed to do more and more things for the initial haste quest. We've removed the guaranteed rogue marker drop from Act 6. Cover's Trial, the museum map, and Moon Temple gonna be rare AF, yeah. And you could even get that map from Delve. You could even get that map. And that's also gonna, that was one of the, especially rare. How's it called? Doriani's Machinarium. Monster balance. Okay, here we go. They're gonna buff bosses, guys. My predictions are gonna be... No, they don't. Boiling Ambusher found in map areas now casts Frostbite instead of Elemental Weakness. The Bone Prison skill used by Necropolis map boss now has a small gap to run out through. Oh, thanks. Magnus Stonehorns. Cast when damage taken. Molten Shell now requires more damage to be triggered. And now absorbs more damage in map areas proportional to the life changes that Rogue Excels received in 3.19. This skill also now has 1 second cooldown. Previously, none. Nice. The Vine Pod Explosion skill used by Spriggans now has a cooldown of 3 seconds, and a portion of the damage dealt is now chaos damage. They now also use the skill when you are closer to them. Okay. Cool, I guess. Kirak League mods. The only thing I was thinking, like, why is Harby 6 Chaos Orbs? But now I know why Harby is 6 Chaos Orbs. It's because of that new currency item. Other than Domination 3, I mean, wasn't Domination before 2 Chaos? Or am I imagining things? Wasn't Domination previously on previous Atlas on the map devices for 2 Chaos? Also, Ritual, 13 Chaos Orbs, like, what? Why are these so expensive? I don't get it. Quest changes. Gull wasn't as good back then. I mean, 13 Chaos for Ritual? It's way too much. But, okay. I have to say, these might be these kind of rewards. These might be these costs because you can super spec into because they want to see if anyone actually cares about ritual other than burst league start currency. No, but what if, like, we don't know actually what kind of nodes on the skill tree, on the Atlas skill tree you will be getting for these leagues, because they wanted to supercharge them, right? They're like super boosting each league with like adding a bunch more points. So ritual might get like super rewarding. Who knows? Ritual turns into ultimatum, pretty much. I mean, I wouldn't... Delirium is a complete bust for me. I hate Delirium with a passion, so... It can go die in a corner. Unless there's, like, challenge associated with it. Quest changes. Okay, Shield Crush is now offered to the Marauder for completing enemy at the gates. Volcanic Fissure is now offered to the Marauder for completing the Siren's Cadence. That's level 12? Can be purchased from Nessa by Marauder, Templar, Duelist, and Scion. No Divine Shards, yeah. Cursed Ground support is available from Clarissa by Witch, Shadow, and Scion. Multiple Totem support is no longer offered to the Witch for completing Eternal Nightmare. Frozen Legion is now offered by the Templar to the Templar for completing breaking the seal, and can be purchased from Petarus and Vanya by Templar, Marauder, and Duelist and Scion. Hex Bloom support is now offered by to the Witch for completing Eternal Nightmare and can be purchased from Petarus and Vanya. User interface changes. Add a display that details the effects of all Eldritch altars that have been selected in an area. Yay! Right-click on a Chronicle of Adzuatl now allows you to view the Temple of Adzuatl. Previously, Control-click. Wait! There was a way to look at it! The next text on Chronicle of Adzuatl items has also been updated to mention this. Updated the Atlas mission information text on the Atlas to clarify accumulated Atlas missions are based on the highest tier of maps you have completed on your Atlas. Hovering over a recipe that adds a specific modifier in the bishop panel or at the blood altar now displays the preview of the modifier. Nice. Add the slots for the newly introduced fracturing orbs and shards to the currency stash tab. Yoink! The league filter on the character selection screen now only lists leagues you have a character in. The mini energy shield bar from the show mini life bar above you UI option will now display separately to the life bar when you have a certain amount of energy shield at different level thresholds. I mean, this is nice when you're playing like low life or hybrid, I think. It is now possible to right-click on a divine vessel that has captured a soul to upgrade to Pantheon powers. You can still turn it in with Sin.
Exile.
Oh, dang.
The demons.
Oh, Tati is raiding us. Hello, guys. Defend with butts. Defend. Shout out. Hello, guys. This to story time with Mar. Well, we're almost done with patch notes. Improve the scroll speed in the friends and guild section of social panel. Yoink. That's good. Bug fix. I mean, wow, lots of bugs are being fixed. Okay, changes since the original post was made. The Val powered an awards Doomfletch, okay. Updated the following note. Oh, Hex Blast. Can we have a story about taxes? I mean, I haven't learned economics like Chris Wilson, so I'm sorry. It's not gonna be a TED talk about taxes. Just have to diversify, okay, mommy? Diversify. That's the name of the game. That's all I learned, is to diversify.